everybody. Welcome in. Monday Night Besties, back at it again. Each and every Monday night, always a pleasure to be with you all. Amanda Savage, of course, the lovely co-host of mine. Glad to see her back. And, of course, I'm DC Hendricks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, we want to know your thoughts on Raw tonight. Keep the comments rolling in. It helps the show move along. And, of course, send those slam chats in. Slamchats.com. Of course, that supports all of our great creatives at BodySlam. So slamchats.com and hit us up there. A lot to get to tonight. I mean, a fast-paced, fun 3 hours of Raw tonight. Fun Monday night. But before we get to any of that, I got to catch up with my lovely co-host, Amanda. What's new in your world? How you feeling this week?
You know, I'm hanging in there. I had a really, really exceptionally hard day, but I'm kind of proud of myself. So, yeah, I made it through. Made it to the besties.
That's right. You made it. You made it to the best Monday night post show. What up, Jeffrey?
Jeffrey, hi.
What's going on?
I love to see repeat besties.
That's right. We're doing good. I'm kind of in the same boat. It was a long day today. So Mondays, to be fully transparent for the audience, Mondays are my days off. But sometimes when you have a day off, it doesn't feel like a day off. Today was one of those days. I got a 1-year-old that's turning toddler in the toddler stages, so it's dealing with that as well today. Dealing with the cranky stages and dealing with that all over again, the teething and all that. So it's been one of those days today. But you know, as you said, we made it. We made it to Monday Night Besties. And this is our escape from all that, right? We had a fun 3 hours tonight, and I know I enjoy your live tweets, Amanda. I don't know if anyone tells you that, but your live tweeting.
They don't actually.
I love it. I think it's funny. It's like if I have to get like a quick break or something, I just check your tweets to see what I missed. You're spot on. But tonight's Raw, I think, started off with the segment that I know you enjoyed, and I think we all have a new nickname to call The Rock. Diarrhea Dwayne is our new name that we call The Rock. What did you think of the opening? How Raw started tonight? What you think?
Oh man, that was like a jam-packed segment. I felt like there was like 4 stories that were happening at once, but yeah, that was wild. I did tweet about that because I had already written 3 articles that used the phrase diarrhea Dwayne, and it made me laugh. And I also had to figure out how to correctly spell diarrhea, which is like something that it doesn't come up that much, I guess. So yeah, that was pretty fun. I think that it's probably for the best to have Seth and Cody appear across Raw and SmackDown. Mm-hmm. I get that going into Mania. It does kind of leave like there was a bit of a vacuum, I felt like. So they had that big opening segment and then they're like, we'll see you on SmackDown. I was like, oh, okay. So I think we can kind of guess where that's going. Mm-hmm. But yeah, definitely is still a cliffhanger. Maybe there's a different twist or turn coming, but definitely opening. Anytime I open with all the Cody pyro, I'm happy about it, to be honest. Thank you. I am a Cody crybaby for sure. And I definitely didn't totally know how to spell diarrhea. So I figured it out.
Well, what letter were you forgetting? Well, is it the H or the extra R?
Yeah. I think it was the extra R. and I knew it didn't look right. And I was like, that's not right. What is it? And so I had to Google
the
diarrhea.
Red squiggly line kept coming under it. And you're like, what am I doing?
What's that? So anytime they start a show with the promo, I enjoy that. I usually like, kind of kicking off in that way. It was, I don't feel like it drug on. I don't know how long it was, but it didn't feel like I spent 25 minutes for nothingness, So even if it did go a little long, it was so meaningful. Yeah, kind of like it wrapped up some things and then left question marks on others, which I suppose is a good way to build to Mania. So
yeah, because unfortunately we still have a whole month left. We still got 30 plus days left until Mania. So we still got a lot of build up left to still happen. So I'm appreciating the long-term storytelling. They're trying to keep us, engaged. And I like that you said there's a turn coming because I think the consensus wrestling fan knows where it's going now.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll save all that speculation for another show, but where this storyline's going. But I do love that we are approaching at times where we are hating The Rock, which is, if you told me The Rock was coming back, this is not the way I would have thought it would
No,
have been down. I'm loving it though. I'm loving it because
I am enjoying it.
I'm
Yeah.
enjoying it too. I'm enjoying it. Not as much as I probably thought I would. Like if you told me that Rock was coming back and he'd be a heel, like I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much as I do now. And it's just the way it's played out. But I'm loving this whole storyline. And I think, again, if people listen to this show, I think we even said that this was coming weeks ago, that we said that probably night one would be a tag match, and then night two we said it. So you got to listen to Monday Night Besties. That's the
gotta listen to the besties.
That's the only way to know what's happening. We
It
got
is.
So definitely a fun way to start Raw. I love them two on the mic as well. Two of the very best that we got in WWE, let alone on Monday night. So love the way that started. So definitely looking forward to that. And I know we'll talk about the main event that just happened literally moments ago. We'll get to that later on in the show. But one of my personal favorite moments, and then we'll get to one of yours as well. But I wanted to bring up, so we thought it was going to be a ladder match, right, for Gunther for the Intercontinental title. So instead, we found out tonight from Adam Pearce, the GM, that we're getting a gauntlet match next week to figure out the number one contender for Gunther at WrestleMania. And those participants, if you missed, Sami Zayn, Big Bronson Reed, Shinsuke Nakamura, Chad Gable, JD McDonough, and I'm missing one. Ricochet. Yes. So those are your 6 participants for next week's gauntlet match for the number one contender for Gunther, which, everybody has their pick. I think it's pretty much either Chad Gable or Sami Zayn. We'll see. But what do you think of that match coming to fruition? And obviously, also, we can't forget Dom versus Gunther tonight either.
Exactly. That was a sight to behold, for sure. I am of the mind where, I love to hate Dominic. I enjoy it, but then I also, just watching him get chopped into oblivion, I still kind of was like, oh, Dom.
Poor Dom.
Little Dom. Yeah, I do think it's probably down between Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. I think there's definitely a compelling case to be made for either one. I think pretty much let's see. Oh, I'm grabbing for a mouse that's not there because I dropped it on the floor. Yes. So JD McBig, didn't Cody call him a big head once? That's the one that always reminds me that I think about his big head. Or Funko Pop head, I think is what he said. But that's I don't necessarily think JD McDonough is going to be winning this, but I do understand the value and kind of building to some other things. So whether or not that leads to additional feuding from this match going into Mania, we'll have to see. Because I think Bronson Reed has become such an imposing force that it's interesting to me to see even though I think it's maybe Chad Gable or Sami Zayn, I don't know how they get through Bronson Reed. Yeah. So that makes for an exciting match next week. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, especially after seeing what Bronson Reed did to Sami.
Yes.
And I look at and what Bronson Reed has done to the Raw roster. I mean, over the past year. And that's a match that I would be excited to see, especially after not getting him in the chamber. But, a match that I was really hoping would be really good tonight that, I was a little bit disappointed in the way the match went. It was just a lot of botches in the match. But I was really looking forward to Nia Jax, Becky Lynch. I was really looking for that redemption match. And, honestly, I forgot about Liv for a minute. I completely forgot that part, even that story was even happening. But obviously Liv interferes and messes the match up, and then it gets no finish. So no really finished business there. and we'll get Becky Liv next week. But I was really hoping, because after Nia Jax's performance at the Elimination Chamber, I was really hoping, because Becky's great in the ring, so I was hoping for a little bit more. The match really didn't hit with me tonight, but nonetheless, still a story being told here. I think for some reason I still have a inkling that we could end up getting a triple threat with Liv Morgan added into the match with Rhea and Becky. I don't know. That's where I see this is going. But what did you think of that story being told tonight in the match between Nia Jax and Becky?
I think that I have a kind of strange perspective because I do this like news writing gig. So some of that is just the finding of quotes. And so you're looking back at something. And I wrote something earlier today, like around a quote that Becky gave on the bump, but I didn't realize it was from 5 days ago when I did it. And I was like, oh, that was from 5 days ago, Amanda. That's old news. But something that she said in there was that she felt like in order to get to the best version of herself, to face Rhea, to even have a shot, she had to clear this Nia Jax kind of burden, like how to get that off of her shoulder. And to have that not only be unresolved, but then to add in an additional feud with someone who, frankly, I would say like deserves some momentum coming back from an injury. I don't like the word deserves, right? Like I think that's weird, but I'm looking forward to seeing that return excitement be capitalized on. And so I had this kind of interesting moment by the end of the match where when there was a non-finish, I was like, in my mind, a little like irritated. And then it hit me like, wow, look at this. Becky Lynch does have this sort of main event style moment coming at WrestleMania, but on the road to Becky and Rhea, we're really still building Nia. We're really still building Liv. Like they're creating these credible threats for whoever walks out of Mania now in a pretty cool way. Like it could just be weeks and weeks of promo segments between just Becky and Rhea that kind of not benefits no one, but like doesn't really benefit anyone other than those two. But it's not. It's really kind of this inclusive, just more folks are getting involved. And so that actually made me a little softer on my opinion towards this program in particular, because I haven't really been feeling it. Like, I don't know. I didn't like it. I don't like it when I feel like I know what's going to happen almost. And so it's just kind of like, oh, great, cool. Like from the press event to now, I felt like it felt pretty clear it was Becky. But I didn't anticipate this Liv stuff. I guess I probably should have anticipated some continued Nia Jax interferences, but like kind of thought, oh, they're gonna end up just going Rhea Becky, and it hasn't been. So that's a surprise tonight that was kind of a delight. I like it when I'm wrong. I love being wrong. So that's like genuinely something I enjoy in life, of like where I get kind of a shift in my perspective. And so that was a shift in my perspective tonight. I think this story is a little more sophisticated than I've been giving it credit for.
Yeah, and something that was a delight for me, like you kind of mentioned, for me, what I loved was after when Liv, interferes and gets rid of Nia and she gets in the ring with Becky. For once, the crowd was 100% behind Liv.
Yeah.
And that is something that like she struggled with ever since, after getting the SmackDown Women's title, like ever since she's won that title, like the crowd kind of like turned on her and like she's kind of lost them since then. And tonight it felt like when she got back in the ring after getting rid of Nia, the crowd was behind her. They were excited about her being in the ring with Becky. So I had to highlight that because Liv has been someone, she struggled with it for a while. Like even in her promos, like there's like no reaction. There wasn't the poor girl with so much excitement in the Royal Rumble, hoping that like Sasha Banks would come out, like everyone was all up on that. And then Liv Morgan walks out and everybody's like, oh, that's what we get, So poor girl's just been through it all. And whether you're a fan of Liv Morgan or not, tonight was special for her. And she earned the WWE Universe back. So that was something I definitely wanted to make sure that I highlighted tonight as well. Because definitely she's been through it. She's been through it with the WWE Universe and outside the ring too. We don't got to get into that. But so definitely it was a big part of my night. And then after the match, of course,
Astrid.
Hey, what's going on, Astrid?
I get excited. Okay, sorry. Yes, after the match,
Rhea and Becky had the quick moment Obviously, Rhea's going in like unscathed, unbothered. She has
Yeah.
nothing going on with her, and she looks at Becky, who's all stressed out, and so again, like you said, just building towards that match at WrestleMania is what this entire storyline's all about, right? Just building towards Rhea Becky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Super good. It was fun.
I'm ready. I'm ready to see how that keeps going.
Yeah.
So some other things tonight, and then I wanted to mention, I think another moment that you enjoyed tonight, and this is when Raw got fun, right? Because we had the Andrade match with Apollo Crews, and I'm like, all right, what is this really doing? So like that was kind of a let's see what the kids are doing. Quick break, at least for me, it was just like, what is this match really doing? And then Raw got fun again when Viking Raider and Valhalla come out, and Raw just turned up. Like you got Michael Cole wearing the Vikings helmet, and and then Pat McAfee. Like, I want to go ahead and let you highlight that part because I think you even tweeted about it, but made Raw fun again tonight. What did you think of that whole fun moment with Michael Cole and Valhalla?
I just think that Pat McAfee brings out the most adorable side of Michael Cole ever. You can tell that they have a genuine connection. There's like probably a genuine friendship there, and also that fun like odd couple friendship where I don't know that if they didn't have this opportunity to work together, if these two humans would love each other this deeply, but you can definitely tell now that they're together, they're vibing, they're besties, okay? And so yeah, the running gag of Michael Cole being disappointed that Valhalla didn't have antlers and then like subsequently blaming Ivar's losses because she didn't have the antlers has been going on for a minute. It definitely is an ongoing theme. But then tonight when she had them, not only was he so excited that she had them, then she came and gave them to Michael Cole, and Michael Cole went on to wear the antlers throughout doing commentary. I don't know how he had the headset on, but then he tweeted a picture of it because I wrote a whole article. So I don't, I'm not trying to. I hope someone at BodySlam.net wrote a whole article about Michael Cole being adorable because I can tell you that WrestleTalk.com, Amanda Savage wrote one that was sort of predicated on just Michael Cole is adorable because it was like a very sweet moment. It also had a whole side quest where Pat had the telestrations about Michael Cole wearing the antlers. It was just yes, there was. Oh, I keep grabbing for a mouse that's not here. It's really annoying. Yes, then people were chanting. So during the match, he's wearing these antlers, and there's just like a sporadic Michael Cole chant that broke out. People were Michael. It was just so good. It was so fun. It just you can't really think of anything more night and day. Like I could probably think of someone from like a decade ago, but I can't think of any like truly tyrannical boss I've ever had. But just some of the things that I've heard, I was particularly like, it was Renee Paquette's version of how it felt to be on commentary sometimes. I've heard Michael Cole talk about how it used to be sometimes to have Vince in his ear and to have these moments that feel so off the cuff and like very genuine and fun and sort of lighthearted, but certainly ad-libbed to a degree. I mean, like, I'm not saying he didn't know she was going to give him the antlers. I just don't think you can anticipate how the crowd, like, you can't map out the rest of it.
No.
Even if he knows she's going to hand these to me, you cannot write the rest. And it was just something that I don't think, like, a really fun, exciting moment that I don't know that we would have seen a year or two ago. Because those kind of off-the-cuff, fun personality moments were not of paramount importance. And I think that's something that's been really exciting is that everyone has their own personality. And now that each kind of character within WWE has, it seems like a tiny bit more latitude to show their personality. It's been a lot of fun. But Michael Cole and Pat McAfee are a good time. The kids,
they are the epitome of what we need on Monday nights. They're exactly what we need on Monday nights.
Yes.
Exactly. The perfect team, the perfect energy, perfect camaraderie. I'm with you. I've been enjoying them too. And like, there's no offense and no shade to Kevin Patrick or Corey Graves or nothing, but these two,
love them
like,
too, but yeah, their connection
these two together is
so
something
real.
else. Like, it's something else, and it makes the show a whole lot more enjoyable. So that was one of my favorite parts of the night. Like, it has nothing to do with anything. There's no story or nothing.
Right.
But sometimes that's the best part of wrestling is when the unprecedented stuff that comes out of nowhere that you just kind of, those are the best moments when you don't even know what's happening, and that's what made that moment hilarious. So like, one of my favorite moments of the night, Michael Cole chants. A night where you get Michael Cole chants is a good night on Monday Night Raw.
It is, yeah.
So something else to happen tonight, I wanted to highlight with you tonight as well. So the women's tag division was highlighted once again. We are getting more storylines with the women. I think we're getting a couple heel turns coming. I think we got a couple teasers with Natalya and maybe Candice LeRae possibly going heel. But I'm loving the storytelling once again. This women's tag division, they're showing that they care more about it. They're booking it. The Kabuki Warriors and Damage Control are both on Raw and SmackDown. But Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark they faced Katana Chance and Kaden tonight, and obviously defeated them. And looks like they're going to get a title match. I think that's what we're getting. We're going to possibly take the titles, bring them back to Raw. But again, more storytelling with the women's tag division. What'd you think tonight?
I don't know how Candice LeRae turns heel and Indy Hartwell doesn't. So I don't know if there's like a different amalgamation that happens where maybe then Tegan Nox and Indy Hartwell, because also it looked like Tegan Nox was kind of like not totally into what Natalya was selling at first. Yeah. At least like the screen grab that I looked at for a thumbnail, Tegan was looking at her like, what are you talking about? So I don't know. I think I would love to see a very like aggressive, borderline like psychotic version of Candice LeRae. I think would be so much fun. She is, if you haven't seen her in intergender matches, is that the right way to say it? Or mixed tag? Not even tags, just like mixed matches. Like, but if you ever see her have like online, just look up Candice LeRae against any time she's faced a man, and it is wild. Like she bumps like none other. It literally feels like I just love watching her work, and I don't necessarily think that we've gotten to see that from her on the main roster. I think that like the character that's been presented has been a little like, she's like, she was from NXT. You remember her, right? Like you love her. And so it hasn't been necessarily as developed. And so to give a bit of grit or to give an additional layer of nuance, like I do think she's someone who they could dig through as well, has a pretty substantive story as to why they want to be here, why she'd want to prove that this is worth it. I mean, some of that stuff that they pull up for like that they were just talking about with Becky and Drew McIntyre, right? Like these are times that we've been away from our families, or these are things that we've missed. Like I imagine having a very small child and then hitting the road quite literally right away. I mean, she was out for several months, but her son and my daughter are like 2 weeks apart in age. Wow. And I can't imagine. Like, I really cannot imagine. Like, I remember she was back in the ring and I was, yeah, right. No, so, yeah, even still 2 years postpartum to still be doing everything she's doing is amazing. So, I would love to see her have an additional couple kind of like layers of personality there. Natalya is so funny. Natalya has just like such a veteran presence that I don't think that she even needs to be saying or doing anything particularly profound to add gravity to the segment. But I always like seeing her. And I genuinely appreciate that Raw has almost an NXT-esque backstage vibe to it, where you're never really just seeing, I mean, I can't say never, but at least tonight, I can't think of any time that you saw only one like group or like one person. It was unless they're cutting a promo directly to the camera alone, like I think Jey Uso did. But other than that, it was things where characters are interacting in a dynamic way, and that's something that I always like to see. It's a TV show with sports on it person, which I think is an unpopular opinion perhaps, but I like to see the characters interact with each other, even if they're not doing anything particularly profound. So just the fact that Candice LeRae could be inspired to be more of a sassafras because she was standing by when she heard this veteran say a pretty profound thing. Like, oh, what did she say? She said that it's time to forget their manners because they are hungry and it is time to eat. Like they don't need that they will forget their manners in this situation. And that was something that you could see a character that wasn't in that tag team latch onto and kind of examine and pull into her own character. It's a really nice interaction. I always like that stuff.
Yeah, me too. And a lot of what I think you can say for Candace, I think you can say for Indy as well. Because like
Yeah.
a lot of people forget, like she
Yeah.
came to Raw still the
Yes,
NXT Women's Champion. Like,
that is true.
so like even since she's been on the main roster, she hasn't hit exactly like the way she could either. Like I think she like honestly a big downfall, honestly, since leaving NXT. So I think they're finally starting to build towards doing something with them. They had the big match at Elimination Chamber kickoff show.
Mhm.
Great match, phenomenal. Showed everyone what they could do.
Mhm.
That's exactly what I mean. We know what they could do. If you've seen them
Right.
in NXT, you know what they can do.
Yeah.
So like I think this is the beginning of that. And again, just highlighting the women's tag division once again. I think Raw does it better than any other. So I'm hoping that we get a mid card title, something to reward that, because right now all Raw has is Rhea. We got one women's belt. So hopefully WWE gets it together. But nonetheless, big segment with the women tonight in those matches. So my match of the night, which I like to highlight every week. This week it was no question, hands down. Imperium Judgment Day. Hands down. That match was so good. Like we knew the outcome. Like, come on, Judgment Day is going to win the match. We know that. But just a great match. I mean, banger. Like to
Yeah.
the end. I mean, fast paced action all the way through. Damian Priest got a big reaction from the crowd.
Mhm.
I thought that was match of the night. And again, you know, going towards McNuggets. JD McNuggets, what we call him now. Maybe we're building towards him. Facing
Maybe.
Gunther. No, we're not. That's not happening. We're not
No.
even going to spread
What?
fake news in here. But you know
It'll be like
that's
on
why
somewhere someone clips it. Amanda said.
we're going to be the first ones to get blamed for it. But what I really hope we're not doing is JD fails to win or something, and like I really hope Damian does not cash in on Gunther. That's what I'm hoping. I really see. That's my reaction too. But I just don't. I really hope that's not what's. I really hope that's not what's happening, because I've been trying to figure out why this is even happening. Like, are we just building towards Imperium taking the titles from them? Like, I hope that's it. But like, why are we even mixing these two together? Like, it's weird to me. So like, I'm really hoping that's not what
Yeah.
we're doing. But still, nonetheless, I enjoyed the match tonight. What you think of that segment? And hopefully, I didn't ruin your long-term opinion of Damian Priest taking the title.
No, oh man. Damian Priest with that little senior money in the bank makes me nervous because like the clock is ticking and it's, I don't know. It's months away, but I don't necessarily I guess if for some reason Seth was to drop the title to Drew at WrestleMania, then possibly there's a path forward there. Yeah. That one I hadn't. Has it been cashed in for a not like top title? Has it been cashed in for an Intercontinental Championship before?
Austin Theory did last year.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, for the
So
United States belt.
That's right. So there's like precedence, I suppose, but yeah, I don't know. What I do like about, I think, Judgment Day, something that unfortunately, because it's not that they don't have that many matches, but I think that because you're kind of holding both of those sets of titles, you forget that they are still, that's not like any old tag team. That is actually Finn Balor.
Right.
And Damian Priest. Like it is a big time tag team. And I think that
Right.
tonight's match against Imperium gave a good opportunity to kind of remind of that fact. Because I think sometimes they can get okay, no disrespect. Truly, this is with all respect in my heart because I actually love them. And so this is why I would say this example. But like Brutus and Julius Creed, in the future, I can totally see them being tag team champions. I don't necessarily see each of them being exceptional singles wrestlers. I think probably Julius Creed and then maybe also Brutus, but like not to the same level where we're talking about a Judgment Day where it's a tag team where both are actual certified singles champion like top stars. So that is important, I think, to continue to reestablish, because as much fun as it was and as much as I enjoyed it, I think R-Truth has possibly like created a bit of a comedic flavor around Judgment Day that maybe cannot be sustainable this time of year, because this is supposed, I mean, these are technically 2 sets of titles, I suppose, right? And so I kind of think that matches like this that are sort of not evenly matched, but that were quite competitive are important, as well as like some just some more, you know, like where we probably know they're going to win, but just that we get the opportunity to remind all of ourselves that they're not just like, Finn Balor mugs some funny faces during the segments, you know. So now I think we've kind of gotten to almost a point where it would be easy to sleep on them as certified top stars in their own right. So this is a good time to reestablish that. And I think that this match tonight did that, that they're definitely still powerhouses. This is not, this isn't just comedy wrestling or anything.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes we need that real good wrestling match to kind of take us back to that. And I think that's what we had with this match tonight. Definitely a banger. You know, maybe this is just the beginning of a tag team title match, because as of right now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Judgment Day don't have a match at WrestleMania, right? As of right now? As of right now, I don't think they have a match.
No, they don't. Oh.
So maybe we're building towards that, or maybe they don't have a match and then Damien's wide open for a cash in. We'll see. Hey, there we go. You know, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. We got to create the scenarios. That's what we do. Yeah. So yeah, definitely a great part of the night, though. Definitely enjoyed that match. Definitely absolute banger. Damian Priest fan, so love that match. And obviously, we got the main event. What ended Raw tonight? I think this is a great way to segue into great storytelling too. I mean, there's great matches tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You had the comedy relief with Michael Cole and Valhalla, and you had great storytelling once again. And by the way, keep those comments rolling in. We're going to be on for another 10 or so minutes. So if you want to get some thoughts in, Monday Night Besties, get those Monday Night Raw thoughts in. What'd you think tonight? Some of the stories as we get closer to WrestleMania. And of course, you know, slamchats.com, support the creatives that we have at Body Talk. I mean, there's shows for each show. I mean, there's NXT, there's SmackDown, there's AEW, there's I think New Japan wrestling shows that they do as well. I mean, they do it all. So definitely slamchats.com and support, because we got a lot of creative people here. But with the main event tonight, we got, I think for the third time, Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre, and ends almost exactly the way you thought it would. Maybe a little bit different, but the outcome maybe not so. Drew McIntyre wins again, obviously. And, you know, first Solo comes out and tries to distract Jey. Doesn't really work. So Cody comes out, gets rid of Solo, gets him out of the arena. And then Jimmy comes out and makes Jey lose and is getting ready to attack him. And then 100% healthy Seth Rollins comes out running fast as ever. Definitely ready for WrestleMania. Definitely. So no worries about that. He's healthy.
Yeah.
Runs out to the ring and super kicks Jimmy Uso. He's gone. And then Seth ends by getting claymored by Drew after the match. And Drew stands tall to end Monday Night Raw tonight. What was your thoughts of the big main event tonight for Monday Night Raw?
I always like it when the main event has a lot of the pieces coming together. So it was fun to definitely see that plane land by the end of the episode, right? Because we did get in the opening segment, they confirmed that night 2 will co-main event Seth and Drew, as well as Roman and Cody. I mean, yeah, we've said Roman and Cody. I don't know. They've said that's on Sunday, right? Yeah, so that's a thing. But they definitely added that co-main event aspect. So kind of watching that, the way that those builds will interface with one another is pretty fascinating, because now we are sort of in this scenario that, you can see the bloodline on any show as well. So it's like just the way that we're seeing Seth and Cody go over to SmackDown. We've also seen Jimmy and Solo pop up on Raw. So, woo, that's fun. There's a crying baby. Yeah.
It's great. It's great stuff. I mean, so like my favorite part about it though, and once again, I think we're gonna agree on this. So like my favorite part about this whole thing was Drew. Like once again, like, you know, I've been used to Drew as a heel. And so like this is not new to me, but this is great for the people. So like I know a lot of people that watched wrestling back in the day and then like recently got back into it. And so like some of them missed Drew McIntyre. And so like what I mean by getting back into it, like they got back into it like 2020 when he won the title as a babyface and like there's no crowd. And so like they're not used to this Drew. They're not used to this, this, I mean, going by any means necessary, Drew McIntyre, the heel that we all grew up watching, when he first started. This is like a whole nother level. This is like that Drew McIntyre times two. And I'm loving it. I'm enjoying his new vindictive attitude and his drive and his desire to be the champion and get what he deserved the first time. And so that was my favorite part. The way that this ended is just highlighting his work. And it honestly, while I love Seth Rollins, this has me giving some hope that Drew might dethrone him. Drew might beat him at WrestleMania. And for the first time, I felt that tonight.
It's very possible. It's something that I think I also hadn't necessarily thought, oh, that's really viable. But, I think that there are so many really exceptional things on the card already for WrestleMania. And we still have this like 30-day window where things are yet to be added. It's going to be a big one.
Yeah, I just feel like, I feel like there's so much buildup to Roman Cody that like all these other matches are being forgot about sometimes. So like that's why I loved that tonight they are highlighting Gunther a lot more now, and who's going to dethrone him at WrestleMania, who's going to try to dethrone him at WrestleMania, and a big needle move for Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, which I think was desperately needed because there was so much taken out when CM Punk got hurt. Because like CM Punk was supposed to be in this match.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre is not even supposed to be in this match. It's supposed to be CM Punk and Seth Rollins. So like WWE had to quickly pivot and try to tell a story and to make it believable in time for WrestleMania. Lucky for them, they had several days. But I love that part. Drew is going to beat Seth, and Priest is going to take the belt off Drew. Give Drew his WrestleMania moment and then take it away.
Take it away. Cold-blooded. That would be.
I'd be scared to see what kind of Drew we'd get after that.
That's true. Oh,
we might be going back. We might be going dark. He might be like setting people on fire like Kane did.
Yeah, there's no going back from that. That's a good one.
Who said that? Who was that? MD? What was that?
MD's an OG bestie too. MD.
Yeah, that's right.
999.
I like that though. I mean, look, great storytelling though, because remember Drew was supposed to join the Judgment Day. Yep, several cash-in attempts.
Huh.
So that's long-term.
We're gonna remember this, bestie.
I like that.
We come back after Mania, we'll be like, oh.
I like that. I'm saying all this while I'm wearing a Seth Rollins shirt. Makes sense.
A blasphemy.
Makes sense. I just, I love what Drew's been doing. So I really hope that he gets his moment because he didn't get it the first time. So like, and like I said, for the first time tonight, it was believable. It may not be. Seth might walk out as champion again, but at least tonight it felt like, whoa, could this really happen? And that's what they were aiming for, I'm sure. So definitely a big Monday Night Raw as we look ahead to next week. I got to say, I'm looking forward to the gauntlet match. I think that's what I'm most looking forward to for next week's Raw. But what are you looking forward to the most for next week before we get out of here?
I mean, that gauntlet match is very exciting. I really think it could go a handful of ways. I think there's like these obvious paths forward, but there could be some surprises too. So that's that's a fun one. Yeah.
I
We'll
like
wait
that.
and
Yeah.
see.
I'm hoping that we get a little bit more next week. I want a little bit more Rhea Becky. I feel like this week was a big teaser, and it was more. I mean, which rightfully so, but this week seemed more about Becky's path. I want a little bit more of Rhea next week. I want a little bit more about her path, maybe, and like maybe create a little bit of problems for her, or even if you're not going to create any problems for her, even showcase even more how unbothered she is. Like just highlight. I want more from that story because I feel like, you know, I feel like Dakota Kai, turning on Bailey last week on SmackDown, I feel like that lifted it up a little bit. I think SmackDown took a little bit of a lead in
That's true.
the excitement level for the women's title match. So I'm hoping that we get a little bit more next week with Rhea Becky. I think that's what I'm hoping for the most. But definitely before we get out of here, slamchats.com and support. Yeah, we got to mention that
Questions
too.
from the besties.
Yeah,
Questions from
thoughts
the besties.
about Paul Heyman getting inducted. I'll let you go first,
And
man.
then also, who should induct Paul Heyman?
I'll let
I'm
you go
excited
first.
about him being. I'm very excited about him being inducted. I listened to an extremely long podcast appearance. Was it Rick Rubin? He was on like a very famous podcast, but he gave a lot of information about like his personal backstory and kind of some of his family history. And it just gave this like additional layer to Paul Heyman and everything we see on screen with him that I had never considered. So I'm super excited about him being in the Hall of Fame. I don't know who should induct him though. I feel like maybe some sort of amalgamation of like an ECW throwback or someone who he's had. Oh, you know what I saw? It is Rick Rubin. Honestly, I was paranoid. I was saying like the completely wrong thing. Like I was like, he was on the Rick Ross podcast. Like I got really scared. But someone says Kayla. I can steal this from Twitter. Someone said CM Punk, and I was like, oh, and I think that's the first. That's one of the only names that I've seen that I've been like, oh yeah,
that's probably who I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people will probably say Roman. A lot of people might say that, but I'm like, I'd rather see CM Punk do it. CM Punk would probably be my first choice. He's a good talker. First of all, it'll sound good on the mic. He'll pump him up, and obviously, and remember, CM Punk had ECW days too, in his tenure, ECW champion. So hey, I like that. Maybe even like a RVD, maybe even come back since he was just inducted as well. Maybe a Rob Van Dam, which that might be weird though, because doesn't he do a lot of AEW stuff? Maybe WWE will be like, I don't know about that. Maybe not. So I'd go CM Punk. I'd probably go CM Punk as the most logical choice. Maybe even like I think Kurt Angle would be good on the mic too. I think Kurt Angle's a guy that had some run-ins with him as well. But I think CM Punk would be my first choice. I'd probably pick CM Punk. Tommy Dreamer would be good. Yeah, especially with the TNA partnership. I think Tommy Dreamer would be good.
Yeah.
But
there you go. Questions with the besties. Thanks for sending questions, besties.
And like obviously overdue, right? Paul Heyman getting inducted, like clearly.
I'm excited. I mean, I do think it's a good shout.
Clearly, what he's done in his career, no brainer. But definitely, before we get out of here, each and every week we get our spoken word from the one and only Monday Night Bestie herself, Amanda Savage. What you got for the besties this week?
Oh, besties, I'm going through it.
I hear you.
My fucking medulla. You know what I mean? It's that's a Cardi B gif if anyone wants to know. But besties, thank you for being with us. I think the most important thing about being a bestie is that you have a friend here in us. So no matter what you're going through, trust me, we're going through it as well. But we are so excited to see you every week. And we're so excited to talk to you about everything we watch on the show. And just really, you are important. You are special. You are awesome. And you always have a friend in us here. So thanks for joining us.
That's right.
Prayers for Amanda.
That's right.
Thank you. I mean, I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not gonna ever say no to that. But yeah. Oh, thank you. Wow. Oh, I'm pushing another one that's nice about me. Thank you.
That's right.
Thank
That's
you.
right.
Appreciate you.
Make this show a lot more enjoyable to do it.
Oh, that's so nice.
It's a pleasure for me to do this every week with you, and we both got a lot of stuff going on, and like when we do this, it's like it's fun.
Yeah,
So,
you just have like a little bit of time to check out. So now I got to get back to the screaming children that are probably still awake and sick, and maybe eating a cupcake because Grandma was like, "Oh my God, give them iPads."
We got to get back to Daniel Tiger's neighborhood.
Oh my God, yeah. It's quite quiet over here, so it might be all good. I might be besmirching the fine name of my mother for no reason, but they're having a nice little slumber party living room. That's good. That's good. Well, besties, I'm so excited to see you next week.
That's right.
Follow DC Hendricks on everything that you can.
Follow Amanda first. Follow Amanda first, then follow me. She's more exciting. Follow Amanda first, then follow me. That's how we'll do that.
You got the diarrhea jokes.
That's right.
That's true.
That's right. Thank everybody for tuning in. Amanda, thank you so much. Enjoy your night. And we'll be back next week, everybody. Peace and love.
Bye, besties.